Welcome to the Manager Lab, where we delve into the increasingly dynamic world of talent management. In each episode, we will unravel key insights, break down the most relevant books and articles, and provide actionable tips to optimize your approach in developing and retaining top talent. Stay tuned for a deep dive into the art, science, and strategy of unlocking your team's full potential. Let's enter the Manager Lab. Well, we finally made it. Today we're discussing the final law in John Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, the law of legacy. Maxwell summarizes this law in one powerful sentence. A leader's lasting value is measured by succession. Think about that for a moment. Most leaders are evaluated by what they accomplish. We celebrate results, milestones, growth, productivity, and performance. Those things matter, but Maxwell argues that the ultimate test of leadership isn't what you achieve while you're in the role. It's what continues after you're gone. In other words, leadership isn't about building your success. It's about building something that lasts beyond you. And for managers, that may be one of the most important leadership lessons you'll ever learn. And here's the leadership question that changes everything. Many managers spend their careers focused on today's goals, like how do I hit this quarter's numbers? How do I complete this project? How do I solve this problem? Those are important questions, no doubt, but legacy leaders ask a different question. Who am I developing that can carry this work forward? The shift is subtle but profound. Short-term leaders focus on production. Legacy leaders focus on reproduction. Short-term leaders create followers. Legacy leaders create leaders. The true measure of your leadership is not how indispensable you become. It's how successful your team remains when you're no longer there. The book talks about the example of Roberto Goizueta, and I'm sure I'm butchering that name. I apologize. One of the most poignant examples that Maxwell highlights is the former CEO of Coca-Cola. During his tenure, Coca-Cola experienced tremendous growth and success, but what made the CEO exceptional wasn't simply the results he delivered, it was the leadership pipeline he developed. He intentionally invested in future leaders and built an organization capable of succeeding beyond his own leadership. And when he passed away very unexpectedly, the company continued moving forward because leadership development had become part of the culture. That's legacy. The organization was not dependent on one individual. The organization had become stronger because of the leaders that individual developed. And here's the trap that many managers fall into. And unfortunately, many managers unintentionally build dependency. They become the decision maker for everything. They solve every problem. They hold all the relationships. They maintain all of the knowledge. And at first, this looks very impressive. People say things like, we couldn't do this without her, or he's the only one who knows how this works. Everything runs through them. But Maxwell would argue that's not a sign of the leadership success. That's a big flashing red light warning sign. Because if the organization cannot function without you, then you've created dependence rather than development. And great leaders don't make themselves necessary forever. They make themselves replaceable by investing in others. So why legacy matters more than ever? Today's workplace is changing rapidly. People change roles very frequently. Organizations restructure a lot. Leaders retire. Promotions happen. Unexpected transitions occur. The question isn't whether you'll eventually leave your current role. The question is whether your team will be stronger because you were there. Legacy thinking changes how managers approach leadership every single day. Instead of asking, how can I get this done? You begin asking, who can I develop through this opportunity? Instead of solving every problem yourself, you coach someone through solving it. Instead of owning every important relationship, you introduce future leaders to key stakeholders. And instead of protecting your expertise, you share it. Because legacy is built one developmental conversation at a time. So here's 3 very powerful legacy lessons for managers that come from this final chapter. Lesson number 1, leadership is not about you. One of Maxwell's central messages throughout the book is that leadership is about adding value to other people. The law of legacy takes that principle to its highest level. Your greatest achievement may not be something you personally accomplish. It may be something someone else accomplishes because you invested in them. Think about that, the best leader that you've ever worked for. You probably remember how they believed in you, how they challenged you, gave you opportunities, how they helped you grow. That's legacy in action. People will forget presentations. They may forget your reports, and some even may forget many of your accomplishments, but they will rarely forget you for a leader who helped them become better. Lesson number 2, develop leaders, not just performers. Many managers spend significant energy developing skills. Legacy leaders develop people. There's a difference. A performer can execute a task, but a leader can multiply impact through others. Maxwell repeatedly emphasizes that leadership development is the highest return on investment a leader can make. Every leader you develop has the potential to influence dozens, hundreds, even thousands of people. That's exponential impact. And the greatest contribution you make may be the leaders you leave behind. Lesson number 3, think beyond your tenure. Legacy leaders make decisions that benefit the organization long after they're gone. That means resisting the temptation to focus only on short-term wins. Sometimes the right decision for the future requires extra effort today. Training someone takes longer than doing it yourself. Delegating may initially reduce efficiency, and coaching requires patience. Succession planning takes time, but all of those investments create long-term organizational strength. Legacy leaders play the long game. And so here's 4 practical actions that you can take immediately. Action number 1, identify your successor. Ask yourself, if I were promoted tomorrow, who could step into my role? If nobody comes to mind, you've identified an important leadership opportunity. So choose one high potential team member and begin intentionally developing them this week. Don't wait. Action number 2, delegate developmental opportunities. Don't just delegate routine tasks. Delegate growth opportunities. Give people ownership of projects. Let them lead meetings. Let them present ideas. Trust them with meaningful responsibilities because growth happens through experience. And then action number 3, transfer knowledge consistently. Don't let critical knowledge remain trapped in your head. Document processes, share lessons learned, teach decision-making frameworks, and create opportunities for others to learn what you know. The best leaders are teachers. And action step number 4, schedule monthly development conversations. Many managers hold performance discussions, but fewer hold development discussions. So once each month, ask team members, what skills do you want to develop? What leadership opportunities interest you? And how can I help you grow? Legacy begins when development becomes intentional. So here's the ultimate leadership question. Near the end of the chapter, Maxwell challenges leaders to think beyond personal achievement. Every leader eventually leaves. The only question is what they leave behind. Do they leave confusion or clarity, dependence or capability, followers or leaders, a stronger team or simply memories of their accomplishments? The answer determines their legacy. The law of legacy reminds us that leadership is not a race for personal success. It's a relay race. Our responsibility is not simply to run our leg well. It's to successfully pass the baton to the next generation of leaders. As managers, we often focus on today's objectives, today's challenges, and today's performance metrics. But Maxwell encourages us to lift our eyes and think beyond today. Because in the end, people won't measure our leadership solely by what we built. They'll measure it by what continues because we were there. So this week, ask yourself one simple question. Who is becoming a better leader because of my leadership? Your answer to that question may be the clearest indicator of the legacy you're creating. And ultimately, that's the kind of leadership that outlives us all. Well, thanks for listening. And until next time we meet in the Manager Lab, do good work.